Some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen. Only the successful make it happen. What will you sacrifice to make it happen? Thanks for clicking on to another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter. I'm your host, Bob McCarty. Another packed show today. Got Patricia Doring, Single Track Secrets, questions from the fans. Really hope you enjoyed. As always, I can't do any of these shows without my fine sponsors. Orchest Technologies, leader in worldwide telecommunication. ESI Grips. ESI Grips. Man, look at these things. Amazing grips. Race, chunky, extra chunky. Thicknesses that give you the ability to eliminate numb hands. When you order them, don't be a stranger. Get yourself some colored end caps. The grips normally just come through with black end caps. They have quite the assortment of end caps. October, breast cancer awareness. I'm running pink end caps on my bikes for this month. As always, use the code HLS2025 to get 20% off site-wide. Please use the code. It helps me continue to do this show for you all. U Cycling, YUU cycling.com. Same thing. U Cycling's got a discount code also, HLS2025 for 20% off site-wide. Amazing gear. Clothing I've been using for a long time. Super comfortable, whether I'm in the saddle for 1 hour or I'm in the saddle for 12 hours. Really comfortable clothing. And MASH Mobile Vet. I say the same thing in every one of these episodes. Do you know how stressful it is? Loading up your animal, taking them to the vet. You know how stressful it is for them, how stressful it is for you. Let's eliminate the stress. MASH Mobile Vet will bring an animal hospital directly to your front door to satisfy all your veterinarian needs. MashMobileVet.com. Amazing company. Dr. Tenzer and Amy, incredible partners in that business. POC helmets. POC helmets, same thing. Been using these things forever. Lightweight, breathable, super comfortable. MIP system. Can't go wrong with those POC helmets. NB wheels, M5s. Love them. Lightweight. Killer wheels. NV wheels. ENVE.com. Pirelli tires. Check out that new M compound. The new Race M compound. 2.4. Just under 700 gram tire. The traction on the thing is absolutely amazing. Center tread, very good rollability. Intermediate tread is pretty good. And the outermost cause that bike to hook up regardless of your lean angle. Pirelli tires. Again, check out that new Race M compound. They have the XCRC in the new Race compound also. And then Absolute Black. Absolute Black came on board last week. Been on oval chain rings forever. For those of you that don't know exactly what oval chain rings are about, I decided to bring one out today to explain a little bit more about what oval chain rings are and why they matter. So clearly you can see you have a narrow side and you have a wide side. This particular chain ring is 36 tooth, which means if you count, there's 36 teeth on the chain ring. When I refer to oval chain rings, you're going to go 2 up and 2 down in the tooth count based on how the chain ring actually feels. So this chain ring, if you go from the top all the way to the bottom, right here is the long side of the chain ring. That's equivalent to 38 teeth, even though it's 36. You put the chain ring in this position, You put a round chainring, lay it on top of this. This is actually equivalent to a 34 tooth chainring. So what the hell does all of this mean? It simply means when your cranks are about to go over the top and get into your position of power, you are on the maximum number of teeth. So you're creating the most power on the biggest portion of the chainring. As your cranks go vertical, you're now in contact with the least amount of teeth on the chainring. So essentially a 34 in this case. So even though it's 36 tooth, it's a 38, 34 combination. 38 on the downstroke, 34 on the up and over stroke. Hardest part about pedaling your bikes is trying to get up and over the vertical part of the chainring. Absolute Black has solved that problem for us all with their oval chainrings. I do believe there is some demo programs. If you talk to your local shop, you might have the ability to test an oval chainring and see what you think. I'll be the first one to tell you, I've been on them forever. I don't necessarily feel that I'm on an oval chainring, but I'll tell you what, you put me on a round chainring, I quickly can feel the difference and the stress points of going up and over the pedal stroke. Helps you climb better, lays down some better power. You'd be pleasantly surprised at just how good you could actually feel on an Absolute Black oval chainring. Again, without those sponsors, I can't do any of this. So thank you for clicking on to them, helping support my show. Today's episode, like I said, we're going to meet Patricia Doring, currently second place for Florida State Championship Series overall. Going to talk a little bit about Dyer Park, race coming up this weekend for Coconut Cup Series Round 1. The segments, Single Track Secrets. I'm at Markham Park again. I hope you enjoy that. Questions from the fans, please email me at mtbcoachbob@gmail. Questions from the fans, a lot of times it just happens to be somebody that I'm talking to that asks me a question, or somebody that writes into my email and asks me a question there also. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the interview with none other than Patricia Doring. Okay, and as promised, I have a great interview this week, or some of the facts behind this phenomenal female racer. For the Florida State Championship Series in 2020, she finished second in the highest level. 21 finished fourth, 22 finished third, 23 finished first, 24 finished third, and is currently sitting in second place for the 25 FSC. For the FLE, the Florida Endurance Series, in 21 she finished second, in 22 she finished first, in 23 she finished first. Our South Florida Series, the Coconut Cup Series, in 2021 finished third, 22-23 finished second, 23-24 finished first, and 24-25 finished first again. A former teammate of mine, training partner, but most of all, my friend. Welcome to the show, Patricia Patty Doring. Welcome to the show, Patty.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I said to Ryan last week when I rattled off a bunch of his statistics, I said, "Did you know?" And he said, "No, I actually didn't know all those." Going to ask you the same question. Did you know about all those things that I just rattled off about your career?
No, not really. It's like I love to race and I'm always there, but it's like you never check how many you have done, how many years, like
Nobody
2020.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you've been doing this a long time. Nobody, I guess, is as meticulous as I am about keeping statistics on
Mhm.
myself. But phenomenal racing career. Before we get into the Florida State Championship Series this year for Tallahassee, Jacksonville, and then the Coconut Cup Series coming up in Dyer Park this weekend, tell us or the fans a little bit about yourself. Where did where did you get that bug for cycling, and what do you attribute the fact that you're really good at it?
Well, I think I got it because, well, my husband Mario, he rides, but I didn't, and he was only riding alone. And you don't understand when your partner is riding, and it comes later in the afternoon, and you don't get it until you start riding. So I started riding with some friends, girlfriends, only girls. So it was good. I started there, and then I don't know, I got stung by the bike. And then I never stopped. I started like racing, and I liked the feeling. And then I don't know, that I never stopped since my daughter was born. So it's
So
there is why I started.
what year did you get started into mountain biking?
Like 2012.
Oh wow, okay. And
Yeah.
you came directly into mountain biking, or was there any other background in cycling? Did you try the road thing, or was it directly into mountain biking?
Directly into mountain bike.
Oh, good
But
for you.
then, yeah, but I did try when I was already riding. I did try some road and criterium and time trails in road. I have tried gravel. So it's everything about bikes.
Nice. And mountain biking is where your true passion fell into?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's great.
There it is.
I love hearing stories like that. Would you say because you in your FLE titles, and for those of you who don't know, FLE is the Florida Endurance Series. Generally the races are right around 60 miles, anywhere between 5 and 7 hours long. You have two FLE titles in 22 and 23. Would you say you're more a cross country, a short race, or do you like those longer races? What do you think you are?
I thought I liked the shorter races. I thought.
Okay,
But
you thought.
yeah, because I think I needed more fitness. I don't know. But then when we were training together and, well, we tried the FLE and different stuff, I don't know, it was even easier for me to do the long ones and not the short ones. And last weekend, when we were at Jacksonville,
Mhm.
if we had one more lap, I will get first. Because it's like now is that's my it's like I get, I don't know, I need to my warm up. It could be like 1 hour and a half of a warm up, and then I start like feeling that I can really race.
when
So
we when we get into Jacksonville, I'll bring up your lap times because your lap times were really good, and it's interesting because I think your lap times do a good job of reflecting your sentence about wanting an additional lap. In So the last time you won the FLE was in 23. You missed it. I'm not sure if you really chased the series in 24 or 25. I'm not too sure. Did you chase it? And then if not, what was the reason for not doing it in the last 2 years? Because you were in 22 and 23, you clearly were good at it.
yeah, the thing is that I didn't, I went only to the races that I liked, not all the series, because we're coming like from the FSC that is long. And then we start in January to almost June or April, well, like April. And we still have the Coconut Cup and the FLE. So it's a lot of races. And those 2 years, I have been like just choosing the races that I like. Uh, but maybe this year, I don't know.
That would be exciting to get you back on scene
Mhm.
for 2026. You clearly have the ability to ride your bike for quite a while. What Patty's referring to is based the fact that we're based out of South Florida. Our FSC season runs from September to December. We have a 2 week break at the end of December, and sure enough, the first weekend in January or the second weekend in January, our endurance series kicks up. That goes from January to probably May, and sometimes even into
Yeah.
June. Mixed into that entire thing is also our South Florida series, the Coconut Cup series, which Patty has done a phenomenal job for that series also. And that series is mixed in within the Florida State series at the end of the year, and also mixed into the FLE series at the beginning of the year. So what happens is we wind up racing a lot. Fitness for cross country at 90 minutes, as opposed to fitness for 5 and 6 hour racing, is a little bit different. It's hard to balance both. I can clearly understand the wanting to do the FLEs or not chasing the entire series, but doing the FLEs that you like. It does take a lot out of you to stay on top of the programs. And then if you're somebody like myself and you also chase bigger races, those bigger races happen from April to, say, September. So what happens for us based out of Florida is that we wind up having a 12-month season. So Patty, I
Mm-hmm.
completely get the, I don't want to say burnout, but the reason not chasing the FLE. But I look forward to, or would love to have you back in 26 to try and get another one of those
Another
fancy,
one.
another one of those fancy plates,
Yes.
because you do have those. You said you started riding in 2012. Do you recall what your first mountain bike was in 2012 compared to what you're on today in 2025? Give me a little bit about your bike experience from 2012 to 2025. Some of the technology that you'd be familiar with, but what were you on in 2012?
Well, I have been lucky because Mario, my husband, he was always involved in all this. So when I started, I didn't start like in a Walmart bike, like almost, I don't know, like,
Uh-huh.
but I started like in a full suspension Santa Cruz. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
a girl's bike. So I think that helped a lot because I didn't struggle like a new like a new cyclist in a bad bike with everything so hard, and it wasn't like that for me. So I had a good bike. So when I started, I just needed like to get the skills and all that, but it wasn't that bad. Of course, then every 1 or 2 years I started like changing to a better bike, or changing maybe the upgrading the brakes, or something like that, and changing from a full suspension to a hardtail, and then trying
Hmm.
different brands and all that. And of course now I have the top of the line, and it's wow, using everything wireless, and no cables in the bike, and
Do
it
you
weighs nothing.
and what kind of bike is it?
Specialized and Epic 8.
Nice. Do you think, and this question actually comes up a lot, do you think you're faster because of technology? Do you think you're better on the bike because of technology, or do you think your years of experience? I guess it's probably a combination of both. But what I'm getting is, I think too many times and none people try to attribute their success to the bike. I think the bike enhances it, but what's your opinion on that topic?
Yeah, I agree. I think the buy-in heart enhances it, but it also maybe you have all the skills, but if you're in a bike that it doesn't break, or when you jump a little bit, it bends or it breaks, or it doesn't help. So it's like it is both things. If you have the correct bike with the correct skills, it's
I
that's
guess,
the
yeah,
results. Yeah, so
I
it's
would say
both
the two,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
two of them can complement each other quite
Yeah.
well. but I don't believe that one outweighs another one. In
Mm-mm.
2012, did you jump right onto a 29 or were you on
Uh,
27.5? What were
I
you on?
think that one was a 26.
26. I love it.
Yeah.
Most of the people that come from 26 that do the evolution of 26, 27.5, and then 29 definitely appreciate the difference of what a 29-inch bike can do. But just like you said, I don't think skills get replaced from
No.
from the technology. It definitely enhances it, but there's nothing that can replace skills. I use the sentence quite often that I'm doing stuff on a bicycle that I did in 1979
Mhm.
because I'm practicing skills again and again. What do you? And we're going to get into your racing. I've I've been very fortunate to spend a lot of time with you in trail and training. What do you attribute the fact that you're pretty good when it comes to handling a bike? Is it training with the guys? Is it training with Mario? What do you think gives you the ability to be pretty good at handling?
I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't, but the thing is that I like doing it and you need to be like confident to do it,
Hmm.
but and practicing. If you're not out on the trail, like last week, it rained every day. So I had to do a lot of indoor training in the trainer. And when you go back to the trail, it's like you feel a little bit new.
Right, a little bit
So
off.
yeah, so it's like, yeah, it is practice. It is practice, and it's riding with anyone. Is with friends, with Mario, with you, with everyone doing like the Moto Mondays or
Hmm.
whatever. I think the time you spend on the trail, that's what it gives you
I
the
I com
skills.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It isn't just sit on your trainer, it isn't just sit on the road. You can be strong, but in mountain biking, you got to still know how
Yeah.
to turn left and right. As I said earlier, Patty is the currently in second place for the FSC. In the first round in Tallahassee, I believe you got fourth fourth
Mhm.
place in Tallahassee. And we had a time trial on Saturday. How did you do in the time trial?
Mm, third,
Second
I
or
believe.
third? Third,
Third,
third in the
yeah,
time trial, fourth
third.
on cross country, and then
Yes.
second last weekend or 2 weekends ago in Jacksonville. We'll get into Jacksonville. Give me or tell us a little bit about your experience, not necessarily the time trial. That's just straight up racing the course, but tell us a little bit about how the race played out in Tallahassee at Tom Brown Park.
So I was concerned about Tallahassee because last year when I raced exactly the same, we had a time trial on Saturday, and I think I was like second or something. And then on Sunday, I did not finish. I
So you
was
you DNF'd last year in
last
Tallahassee,
year. Yeah, I don't
and
know.
why did you DNF?
I don't know. I was so nervous. It was like my
Really?
body didn't work. I couldn't finish. It was horrible. So this year I was a little concerned. I said, no, no, I'm going to go a little bit, take care and go slow. And then we get to the start and we were 12 girls. So
Okay.
that's for us is a little bit, you know, weird because usually we are from, I think like the number is like six.
Right.
That's
12,
it.
12 is a lot on the starting grid for the female.
Yeah. So it was like, and then we have, it's different like from boys because we have all ages. We have girls that are 14 and we have women that are 55.
Right.
So it's hard because you have to be gentle, or you're concerned about all these ages. My daughter is the same age the girls I'm racing,
Hmm.
so it's like you're a little concerned. So I said, well, I'm going to start a little bit easy, and that's what I did. That bad, I started last.
Oh,
So
really?
I
Okay.
had so I had to pass everyone. So yes, exactly the same. If I had one more lap, maybe I could have get maybe I will get the third or the second girl. Yeah, because
In
Darla was a little bit too
in
far.
Tallahassee, your lap times went up ever so slightly as the race went on. Where in Jacksonville, you ran really, really consistent
Mhm.
laps. What do you what do you think was the reason for an increase in lap times? And you talked a little bit about the emotion that you were coming back from 24 to 25 with a little bit of redemption, plus some nerves. At what point do the nerves go away? Because there's a lot of people that are new to racing and have so much stress and anxiety about lining up. At what point does that actually go away? And then it's just pretty much you against the race course. When did you experience the nerves settle and then it was time to get into racing?
I think with the first pedal stroke,
Oh,
there they go.
okay.
For me, it's like that. It's like I'm so nervous in the line. I say, why I do this? I don't know. I don't like this feeling. And why I'm doing this? I don't need to do it. And then when I start, everything is good. And then when you start passing everyone, is like, and that's what was going on. That's why my laps were a little bit higher because I was behind someone and I couldn't pass, and
I
then
gotcha.
passing, and then again, and then we get the boys, and they are, I think, the 60 and the 50s and some 40s. And the thing is that it's not easy to pass. You have to wait until it's safe or they let you go. So sometimes it's not, it doesn't reflect really your time. We have a lot of traffic. So
I get
that's what
that.
happened there.
What do
Mhm.
you, and one of my questions was you experience lap traffic. You get the opportunity to pass people, and then you also have the opportunity to be passed
Mhm.
from the classes that are behind you.
Yes.
Two things would be, how does that experience actually go for you of passing people in front of you or passing guys in front of you when you call out that you want to pass and they hear a female voice? What is that experience like? And then when you're gonna get passed by a class that's behind, what is that experience like emotionally for you? And are people respectful or disrespectful the fact that you're a female out there racing?
That is one of the biggest concerns when you talk to the girls. All
Okay.
of them, they say, I don't want to race because I need to let someone pass, or I need to pass someone. So if you talk to anyone, that's like our biggest thing. But then I think now David, he got a he we start at the end. At the end, the girls we start like the cat one and then the cat two, but at the end, so we start like maybe 20 minutes behind you.
Oh, so he changed the wave at what, not the wave, but you're starting the time you roll off from the starting gate, he's actually pushed that back.
Mhm. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that he actually changed that. What would be, if you could give a piece of advice then to these fellow racers that are passing, what would be the piece of advice to them?
So that's what I was saying. It's like everyone is so concerned about that. And then when you are there, for me, everyone has been like so respectful when I ask to pass and everything in FSC and all that. Here in Florida, everything good. They let
Hmm.
you go. And when we get like when they pass us, like in like the lead guys, they get us in our third lap usually, and
Hmm.
they are in the fourth lap, and they are usually so respectful too. And we just like move a little bit and they pass in places I won't even think, but they never touch us or push, or they come yelling, or never. For me, everything good. So that's what I'm saying. The girls, they should like not be scared of that, because it's not a problem. Everyone is so respectful. And I think if someone was not respectful, maybe like 3 years ago, I went at the end, let him know that he wasn't respectful, and never again. Never
Wow, that's
again. Now he knows and he just moves, or when he wants us to move, he just asks and everything good. So it's like if you don't know, but then when we ride, like not here in Florida, when we go like to North Carolina or to Georgia, yes, when a girl wants to pass, usually they try to sprint so you don't pass.
mm-hmm.
And then you still pass them, but they don't like
They don't like it.
yeah, they don't like it.
So it sounds like
It is what it is.
you're saying a lot of effective communication, and then if there is a pass that you don't really care for from somebody, remember the number, remember who it is, and go and have a conversation with them. Just let them know that you're all out there racing. You're all trying to do
Mhm.
the same thing. Everybody's trying to win, and everybody wants to go home safe. There is nothing to be gained from being an asshole trying to get around a
Exactly.
fellow racer. All right,
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, it's not worth it. No, but
Good.
yeah, everyone is like concerned that it will happen. Everyone that's and you race and how you do it, how you pass. And yeah, you need to talk, let them know then that you're there, where you want to pass, if you want to go to the right, to the left, or you're going to stop to let them pass, just let them know. And it will help a lot. And it does.
Right. That communication is key. All right. After we left Tallahassee, we had a couple days back, or you had a couple days back home, and then we headed up to Jacksonville, Catherine Abbey Hanna Park for round two of the Florida State Series. You finished second with an apparent sprint finish with Carolyn.
Yeah.
Before we get into the sprint finish, what did you think about that park? Do you like it? Do you not like it? It's generally not generally. It's always on the FSC. So you've clearly raced there a bunch of times. What was your opinion of the park this year?
This year, much, much better than the last 2 years that was wet. So
Mm-hmm.
this year was very dry. And I don't, I don't know. I do like the park. It's not that bad. And it's very twisty. The only thing is that you don't know if you're going fast or slow because you have a
Right.
lot of turns. So I don't know if I'm going really slow or really fast or if they are catching me. I didn't know because you have to turn, 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 and you don't have any reference to know what was coming for me. Because if you know the park, you will know, oh, I can sprint here because you don't have a turn or something. But for me, I didn't know where I was.
That
So
that
yeah,
that
I
park
struggled.
twists. Yeah, that park twists and turns so much. I was kidding in the last video and I said that there's 4,000 lefts and 4,000 rights. It's clearly not that much, but I'll tell you, it's probably at least 300 to 400 corners per
Yeah.
lap. A piece of advice for that, this isn't directed at you, but I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you with the question because a lot of people don't ride with the proper thought process. Patty, if we were riding at a park that you didn't necessarily know, and we'll just use Jacksonville and pretend that you didn't know that you've raced Jacksonville before. If you just took a left-hand turn, what direction would be the next corner you're about to come up to?
Like to the right.
There you go. It's going to be a right. A lot of people make the mistake and they'll go around the corner and go, I don't know what's coming. What's next? If you took a left, odds favor it's probably going to be a right. The other
Yeah.
thing is to take a good look through the trail. You want to try and scan through the trail as far as you can. And in a way, memorize that it's a tight left-hand turn. It's an
Mhm.
open left-hand turn. It's a right-hand turn. Jacksonville is a perfect example of it. You wind up riding with your head down a little bit too much, and then you wind up reacting to every one
Yes.
of the corners as opposed to pre-acting. Pre-acting simply means lift up your head and anticipate what the corners are that are coming up. So you had 3 laps to do in Jacksonville. And like I said, your lap times were really, really good. Spot on the whole day. You
Mhm.
touched in earlier about wanting, if you had another lap, you could have gotten up to Darla and contend for the win, but you didn't get up to her. You didn't have that extra lap, but you had to deal with Carolyn. What happened in that last lap, and were the two of you together the entire time? And how did the end actually go? How did you, because you inched her out in I don't know, it was a half a second or a second.
Yeah. So we were together like from last lap two. And I thought we have like a train behind us, so it was a lot of people behind us. But then they were like start missing one, then missing another. I think we were like maybe like five in the second lap. We were together and I was leading the lap.
Okay.
And then when I realized it was only Caroline, but she didn't want it to pass. I think she was trying to do exactly stay with me and finish, and at the end do a sprint. So I lead the second lap and then the third lap, but she never wanted like to pass. I don't know if she was waiting for the correct time, or
Hmm.
she was good there, or she, I don't know. We didn't talk about that at the end. And then when I said, well, I did all this work, I'm not going to let her pass me in the last stretch because it was
Hmm.
really tight and you had maybe like 300 feet to the end open. So
Hmm.
there was, I was thinking she is going to sprint there because it's the only part now that she could pass. So I said, no,
Did you come, you came out of the woods still in front? So you were in front of her for all of the third lap, and
yeah,
she never made the initiative to get around you.
no.
The there was one section of fire road or double track that was pretty long, probably just under a half of a mile, and it was about a maybe a quarter of the way or halfway
Mhm.
into the lap. And on lap three, when you got to that section of double track, she didn't take the initiative to try and get around. And were you concerned that she might try to get around? Because that was the one section. If you were going to try and get around, that's where you were going to try and do it. What was your emotion and what were you thinking at that point for that half a mile?
Exactly. I was waiting for her to do something. So I, at the beginning, I tried drinking a little bit. So checking if she was going to pass. So I drank a little bit and she didn't do anything. So I then, and I sprint and I never let her pass in any open. I said, well, if you didn't pass where you could, now is not the time. So then I,
So when we came out at the end of the trail, we hung a right hander, and like you said, it's probably about 300 feet to the finish chute. We came out of that. You were still in front of her, and then just laid and I guess sprinted to the finish, and she couldn't get around. It was a real tight left hander into the chute. So you had to be, if you wanted to make the move, it had to come before that and a little bit on the, probably on the aggressive side.
in the inside.
I don't think you
Mhm.
guys race aggressive like that,
Mm.
but looks like you held her off and came in with the second place for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You're happy with your performance. You're happy with where you're at this year, or do you want it to be a little bit better for yourself?
I'm happy. I'm happy how I'm feeling, especially like before and after the races, because I was feeling like really tired. And when I finished the races, I didn't want it to ride or keep training. But now I feel good. I enjoy. So I'm taking it like in different, different way. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter how, like if I get first, second, I just like, and I like being with everyone and hanging out and all that. And then when I race hard, but I'm feeling good. I'm starting to feel good again.
Good. One of the things that is hard for us in the Florida States areas is it does start in September and it ends the second week of December. So to try and carry fitness, it's almost 12 or 14 weeks that you're trying to hold on to fitness. It's actually pretty hard to do. So generally
Mhm.
speaking, in the FSC, you don't necessarily want to come into Tallahassee with peak fitness, and you
So,
don't want to end in Ocala, our final round, with peak fitness. You try to shoot for somewhere around mid late October, carry it for 2 to 3 weeks. So you come in a little bit off. the fact that you're saying that you're feeling on right now, are you concerned with what the end of November and December might bring, or do you think you can hang on to this fitness and finish out the year strong and get ready for the FLE?
Yeah, no, I think I can, because I'm not. I don't feel that I'm on my peak. Like I am starting to feel better. I'm starting to get better numbers. I'm starting to feel better. So it's like I'm like, how you saying? It's like going slow. Then I want to get to a better place, and then yes, the FLE, of course.
Nice. Again, I keep bringing up that FLE for you. Not that I'm good at
It's
good at
hard.
the.
The FLE is
I
hard. We
know, I
suffer a
know,
lot
I know.
for
Getting
hours
getting
and hours.
getting those things behind me is not an easy task after doing
No,
FSC and Coconut Cup and FLE and then chasing some national races. Well,
exactly.
great job in Jacksonville. Or great job this year so far. This weekend or last weekend we were off. This weekend we actually start round one of the Coconut Cup Series up at Dyer Park, which just happens to be your home park. Dyer Park is a climbing course that we would refer to. It's got single track. It's a I don't know. It's a landfill that's been converted over to a park. Actually, a really really nice park. I'm not really sure about the footage that we get for climbing, but it is considered a climbing course. So this weekend kicks off the Coconut Cup for 25 and 26. How are you feeling for this weekend, Patty?
Um, I'm ready because it's my home course. Of course, that happens, you have a little bit more pressure because you said,
Mm-hmm.
no, I know it. It's where I train. So maybe it's a little bit harder, but then I like the trail. It's nice, and I'm concerned because it's raining, and I
Yeah,
think maybe it's going to be wet on Saturday and Sunday. But you never know. Florida is
yeah.
unpredictable, but the trail
Unfortunately,
is running very good.
good, good, good. Unfortunately, for the past few years, we've had horrible conditions for Dyer Park, and hopefully they're going to be good. In the pre-interview with Patty, we actually found out that it's probably not going to be so good. So for you guys down here in South Florida, be prepared for another mud fest. But I'm sure you'll do just fine there, Patty. All right, let's get into a couple more questions with regards to training, your diet. What is the I can answer it based on when you were with me, but in these days, how many hours a week and about how many miles would you view as your training weeks leading up to the FSC?
Yeah. So before we start racing, or the FSC, it is like, I don't know, like maybe 10
Okay.
hours a week.
Okay.
And then now, when you're resting between races, because the thing is that our races are back to back, it's 1 week, and then we rest 5 days, and then you start again. So uh, maybe that is like 7 hours, a little bit
Okay.
less. Uh-huh. And the mileage, I think maybe like 150 miles a
Okay.
week. Yeah, I do a lot of levy, and I should do more trail.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of levy.
Patty's based out of a little bit north of where I am. That we use the Everglades, and our levee system is our primary source of training. It's safe, and you can go
Yes.
for countless miles and never have to see any traffic. So our levee system essentially is our road for gravel when you don't want to do your training on the road. And for the most part, it's either out there in the park or on our trainers at home. In rainy
Yes.
season, what we happen to be in right now, like Patty hinted to last week, she spent a lot of time on the trainer, and unfortunately, in rainy season, that's where we spend a lot of time. You are on power. I know that for a fact. What is your threshold right now?
Not good.
Not good. Okay. You know what? You don't have to answer it.
Let me get it
What
good and I let you know.
All right, you can let us know. The one I've said this in some of my other interviews, but the one thing that I do like about this sport, regardless of what your threshold is, you still have to turn left and right and know how to handle a bicycle. So you can have an amazing
Exactly.
threshold and not be that good at handling a bike, and you're probably not going to do all that well in mountain bike racing. You can have a threshold that's a little bit lower and be really good at handling a bicycle and having race craft, and you'd probably do pretty good in this sport. Tire pressure. What kind of tire pressure do you run on your bike right now?
It depends on the track, but usually it's like around 14 in the front and
Okay.
maybe 15 in the back. It
Great.
depends.
Fantastic number. I had this with Ryan last week and he told me 20. I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm about the same with you for those numbers. I'm running
Yeah.
about 14 to 15 in the front and somewhere around 18 or so in the rear. Like you hinted to, condition specific. I'll switch or I'll swap the number ever so slightly depending upon where we happen to be
Mhm.
racing. Patty, any sponsors, anybody that has helping you do what it is that you do?
Well, yes, this is the third year that we're being sponsored by Brower Motorsports.
Okay.
And yeah, they have been amazing. They help us with everything. They are always on top. When I need anything, they are there. They have my bike perfect. So yeah, they have been really good, and I'm thankful that they wanted to do it this year too.
Well, good. That's a great company right there, Broward Motorsports, and they carry Specialized, so you can get set up from them. If any of the fans want to follow you, any uh, what is your social media handles that anybody that wants to follow what it is that you're doing on a regular basis? How can somebody track you?
Yeah, it's like I need to grow it like you. But I'm bad. I'm bad on that. But I'm trying. And Instagram is Patty dot Doring, so they can follow me. I need to work on it too.
That's
That's a
and
thing.
yeah, we all do. Patty, I don't want to take any more of your time today. Listen, I greatly appreciate you coming on the Hook, Line, and Shifter, getting to know a little bit more about you, your experience, your racecraft, and what it's like to be a female out there on somewhat of a male-driven sport on the race course. It sounds like women shouldn't be intimidated. They should get out there and want to race, want to compete, want to hang out in the camaraderie that happens every weekend or every other weekend with us racing mountain bikes. In closing, is there any piece of advice that you'd like to share with fellow female racers or somebody that's thinking about wanting to get into the sport that would be encouraging for them to want to do so?
So yes, thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me. And yes, of course, if someone wants to try it, um, especially women and like me that I have a kid, that you have a full-time job, like doing something for you will feel it, and all this dopamine that it gets you, it's amazing. And your kids, they are going to see how you change and that you're doing something good for you. So if you try it, of course they are going to get stung like me for the
Mhm.
bike. Crazy about the bike.
Well, hopefully somebody can take that piece of advice and decide to jump into the sport and have the same successes that you had. Patty, again, I appreciate you coming on my show today, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend up at Dyer, and then also look forward to seeing what you can do in 2 weeks from now down here at Markham Park
Markham,
for
yes.
round 3 of the Florida State Championship Series. So, Patty, again, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. Be well.
The same. Bye,
Thank you.
Bob. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Patty. What an amazing person. I loved her take on what it's like to be a female out there on the race course with primarily a male-driven sport, the experience that she's had, and encouraging others to get out there, other females to get out there and race. Very, very talented. And like I said, I had the opportunity to have Patty on a few of my race teams. Very, very talented. You want to see what she can do? Come out to Dyer Park this weekend and let's see if she can produce some good results there also. All right, next section, single track secrets. Hope you enjoy this. It's another one of my Moto Mondays at Markham Park. Enjoy single track secrets from Markham Park. And here we go with another one of our Moto Monday training rides. I say this all the time, man, but go out there and practice mountain biking. Practice mountain biking. How do we do it? We do it by going 7.5, 8.5, 9-minute laps and do them again and again and again. Moto Monday at Markham Park. In this video, you're gonna see the exit of the gun range. And from the exit of the gun range, we're going to head into the adaptive trail. The adaptive trail, I'm going to do a couple cut throughs, wind up onto crime scene, piece of Ted's Twisted, finishing out with the Moore Trail, cut out from the Moore Trail into Route 66. Yep, into Route 66. Cut out from Route 66 into Outback. At the end of Outback, I think we go into Whale Tail. The end of Whale Tail, drop out of Outback and head back down onto the fire road into the end of the gun range again. All right, let's get started. So right here, we're headed down the end of the gun range, making a hard right, going into the end of the gun range, going up this climb. Couple different lines. You want to stay a little bit on the left side. At the end of this climb, so right here, right in front of us, we have a split. You have a left line and a right line. Right line, you actually can roll both of these. Left line around the tree, gonna hop a little bit off the top. Actually gonna hop off the right line also, just to clear some of the rocks on the back side of the whole thing. Here making a left. Another fun Rudy section followed by a right-hander. And right here in the distance is a root drop. Key to this root drop is get your chest low. I use the dropper, but you're going to get your chest low down to the handlebar so you have the opportunity to push the bicycle down, push the bicycle away from you as you roll off of this. Ultimately, you're trying to keep your head and your shoulders as stable as you can. By pushing the bike down, you can keep your head and shoulders stable. Key is you got to lower your body down first. Over the drop, a couple switchback turns, and then we're back to the end of the gun range, crossing over the middle section. The end of this here, we're going to be making a right-hand turn. And then a left-hand turn onto the adaptive trail. As always, when I'm going down the trail, I'm trying to look for obstacles, pick my lines, look for anything in the trail that's going to disturb the handleability of the bike. You want to ride in pre-action mode and not reaction mode. Heading back out to the fire, we're not going to go off to the right here. We're actually going to go off to the left. I put in sections of fire road just so you can practice sprinting. I got my guys chasing me down. Merging back onto the trail from here, we're going to go left around, and then at the end of this, off to the right side. Up and over the rock over. All right, and from here, U-turn left. We're going to make a U-turn left into Crime Scene. Crime Scene is probably one of the hardest climbs at Markham Park. I'll break it down for you and show you exactly what we're going to be involved in. All right, so we're starting up Crime Scene. This is the nature of what Crime Scene looks like. Rocky, gnarly. At the end of this off on the right side, it's going to get smoothed out. Doesn't mean it's any better. It's going to get smoothed out by a concrete pad. Off to the right side of the concrete pad is going to be a pretty significant drop. Yeah, in this case, I use the term, when in doubt, pedal it out, which simply means when you're not sure what to do, lay the power down to the cranks. You got to push down on those cranks. So right now I'm going to hold a little bit of a left line, lay down some power to get over top of all these rocks, and then onto the concrete pad. Once I'm on the concrete pad, I'm going to take my eyes kind of down, make sure I'm in the center of the concrete pad, lay the watts down to the crank to go ahead and go around, to traverse around the right hander and be able to clean our way right up to the top. There's that concrete pad. There's a drop off on the right side. If you want to, there's the bell. From here, we get to drop back down crime scene. All right, this is the drop-off crime scene. It looks much more intimidating than it actually is. First thing on the right side, you're going to have a small gap. Trust me, the bike wants to roll over the gap. From there off in the distance is a double. It's another one that if you just allow the bike to float, it's going to wind up going up and over this. The biggest mistake that people make is they actually push the bike down, try to put the bike on the ground rather than letting it float up and over all of this. Here's that double. Nice right hand berm, good hook. And continuing on. You're good. I'll take that left hand turn to a quick right to go up the end of Ted's Twisted. A little bit of traffic. E-bikes, fast. From here, we're going to drop down to the left. And again, looking at all my lines, focusing in on the trail. Lines, legs, and limbs, focusing on exactly where that front wheel is, focusing in on what my legs are doing, and then focusing in on my arms. I call it lines, legs, and limbs. In that order. What's your lines? What are your legs doing, and what are your arms doing? Lines, legs, and limbs. Don't forget that one. Here we're going to bang a right-hand turn off into the Moore Trail. Moore Trail this day was a little bit on the slick side. Slick meaning you got to watch out for roots. 3 types of roots: parallel to the front wheel, perpendicular to the front wheel, and diagonal to the front wheel. The one with the most concern is going to be the one that is diagonal to the front wheel. The reason for that, especially in wet conditions, is the front wheel is going to want to slide. It's going to want to drift out from underneath you. Parallel to the front wheel, you're going to pick one side or the other. Perpendicular to the front wheel, you're going to go ahead and run it over. Diagonal, you want to get that front wheel, pick it up, lift it up and over the root. If the back wheel hits it, it's kind of okay. The bike's going to drift a little bit, but it's not so bad. A lot of twists and turns in the Moore Trail. I do like to put this one in to break the speed. Right here, we're going to make a right-hand turn. Back into Route 66. This is the end, or this is about halfway through Route 66. It's one of my cut-throughs that I use to keep us on the backside of the course. In this particular lap, I would say I probably used the dropper every lap, minimum 30 to 40 times. Minimum of 30 to 40 times I use that dropper. It's not inconvenient when you learn how to do it. One of my upcoming episodes, I'll do a full episode on how to utilize the dropper. Still inside Route 66. Up and over a rock over. Next gap. In front of us here, we're going to go ahead and take a right. To the left is the bridge. Just doing a quicker cut through because of the traffic. And merging back onto the trail. Left-hand turn up and over some roots. Right hand, now we're making our way back to Outback. There we go. Nice little tabletop. Joel on the right. Thanks, Joel. Picking those lines, putting that bike exactly where I want it. Off here in the distance, nice hook to put the bike under. Going up to Outback Extension. Or Upback, I'm sorry, this is Upback. Out of the saddle, hammering. Why? Because I know there's going to be a recovery. Come around this right-hander, downhill, finally get a chance to recover. Drop the saddle to a double. Nice hook in the distance. And off into Whaletail. Redid Whaletail. Really good trail now. Watch out for the wood at the end of this whole thing. Wood's going to be slick, so we're going to hold a little bit of a lower line. I've discussed this one in other episodes. Open over all those roots. Dropping down, another drop your chest, push the bike down. Picking a line off on the right side, hopping down all that. And off on the left, not doing the gap, on the right, hopping down the pavers. At the end of this, left-hand turn out to a double. Fun double. All right, that was Moto Monday. Hope you enjoyed it. Pick it apart for yourself. Slow it down. Look at the details. Look at my lines. Video next week. I'll put in some more body video so you can see what my arms are doing, what my legs are doing, what my lines, legs, and limbs. This video is pretty good to see the line selection. All right. Hope you enjoyed Single Track Secrets. All right. Another great Moto Monday at Markham Park with Single Track Secret. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video and kind of see what my lines are. I stressed in that 3 L's that I refer to when I ride my bike: lines, legs, and limbs. Lines are simply, where is the front wheel? What are my line choices? Line selection. YouTube channel and show: hook, line, and shifter. Hook, a vertical surface, generally on the outside of a corner. Vertical surface can be the bottom of a tree, something in the dirt, or even a root, a rock, that I'm going to aim the bike for, that I'm guaranteed the bike is not going to slide out from underneath me. That's called your line selection. From their legs, what exactly are my legs doing? Am I pedaling through a corner? Am I staying in the saddle with one leg down? Am I standing up with my outside leg forward? Am I standing up with my outside leg down? What exactly are my legs doing around the corner? And then the final one is limbs. What are my arms doing? Do I have my elbows up and forward? Calling it the bulldog position. Lines, legs, and limbs. Key component when you ride your bike. The reason it's in that order is your line selection fundamentally is the most important thing that you're going to focus in on. Putting that front wheel exactly where you want it to be. Ride in pre-action mode and not reaction mode. Anticipate every single movement that bike is going to do. Again, I hope you like that Single Track Secrets from Markham Park, from another one of my Moto Mondays. All right, questions from the fans. This was actually a pretty good one. Again, mtbcoachbob@gmail.com if you have any questions that you want me to answer. This one came in last week. Hey, Bob, I have good power, pretty good endurance, but my skills are weak. What should I do to fix it? And what would be a good race strategy based on my strengths? Very, very good question. Skill training, I think, is neglected a lot from most people. You just assume you get stronger, you can get through the trail a little bit better, and you try to outweigh your lack of skills by compensating through fitness and strength. As a matter of fact, that interview with Patty, she actually brought up a really good point about having the necessity of needing both in your arsenal of options. Couldn't agree with her more. Practicing skills. This actually goes completely back into the last thing I said about my Moto Mondays. Wanting to do 7 to 9 minute laps again, and again. Practicing your line selection, what your legs are doing, and what your arms are doing. The whole idea behind it in doing 8 to 10 laps is when you get something wrong, you can go back in, and 8 minutes later, you get a chance to try and get a little bit better and a little bit better. Let's say, for instance, you ride your bicycle 5 trainings a week. Some could be 2 a day, so now you're at 7 or 8 trainings. Highly recommend a minimum of 2 of those rides is actually based on skills in the trails. Find yourself some good training partners to also help point out exactly what your skills are that you might be lacking. Watch some of my other videos. Ask me questions. If you see me, I'll be more than happy to share technique that is going to make your ride a little bit better. But a minimum of 2 rides a week in the trail with a moto-based workout. Laps. Not one 45-minute, not 2 45 minutes. Focus on practicing mountain biking. The other one that I do quite frequently is urban riding. Urban riding just simply means ride out from your house, get on your bike. If you see something that looks challenging, try and tackle it. There's nothing that can replace skills. Don't compensate for your lack of skills thinking that you have to just get stronger. Doesn't work out. Skills last forever. Fitness is going to diminish as your race or your time goes on. Skills never diminishes. That's the skill part. What would be a good race strategy when you suck at handling a bike? Here's the mistake that I think is also made. You assume when you have the opportunity to push really hard, push really hard. The problem with that is you actually push too hard, working out too hard, using up too much energy. So when you do get into single track that you have to try and be technically savvy, you're exhausted. So what happens is you accentuate the fact that you don't know how to handle your bike because you're tired. So you actually made it worse. You think because you're on a fire road that you lay down these amazing watts and you're making up time. The time that you gain for the watts that you laid out compared to the time that you lose for the lack of being able to hang on to your bike because you're overly exhausted. What's the solution? Yes, even though you are strong on the fire road, you want to push at your ability with just a hair under that ability. So when you get inside the single track, you actually feel somewhat fresh. And as opposed to giving 100%, maybe you can give 101, 102% and start to make up a little bit of your time. So again, don't over push where you're really good. The same thing goes if you have a lot of skills. A lot of people tend to override the skills section because they think they have good skills, wind up crashing, wearing themselves out, and then getting out to an open section of fire road or double track and not having the energy to conquer that either. One of the good rule of thumbs is if you think everything's clicking and you really feel good, you probably want to slow down just a little bit. You're in a false sense of security at that moment. But great question. Again, if you have any questions for me, click on or log on to MTB Coach Bob or send me an email to mtbcoachbob@gmail.com. All right. What's coming up? This weekend, we have Dyer Park. Dyer Park is a landfill converted over to a park. It's considered one of our climbing courses. It's Coconut Cup Series Round 1. We have a short track on Saturday. The short track is approximately a 4-minute lap, and we'll have to do four laps of it. Sunday, and that's 3 o'clock on Saturday. Sunday is a regular cross-country race. Based on, in the interview with Patty, we realized that the weather's probably not going to be all that great. We're probably in for a shit show on Saturday for the short track, which means Sunday it's going to be a mess again. Unfortunately, Dyer does produce some conditions like that. So Dyer has climbing, and it has single track, a lot of tight, twisty stuff, similar to what we just experienced in Jacksonville for FSC Round 2. After that, we're headed down to Markham Park for Round 3 of the Florida State Championship Series, as well as the Coconut Cup Series Round 2. The two go hand in hand together. Your scored points in the Florida State Series, as well as points in the Coconut Cup Series. Markham Park in 2 weeks from now, my local park in Sunrise. Hopefully I can have a good day there. And like I said in the interview with Ryan, looking forward to chasing those guys down. They started in front of me, so I have a good opportunity to. They're about a minute and a half in front of me. Maybe I can close some time in on them in my 3 laps and see what we can do. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you for clicking on to Hook, Line, and Shifter. And as always, I can't do this without Orchist, ESI Grips, U-Cycling, MASH Mobile Vet, POC Helmets, Envy Wheels, Pirelli Tires, and Absolute Black. Don't forget, on some of those select websites, you can use the code HLS2025 to get 20% off site-wide. Once again, if you like the channel and you like the show, please click the like, subscribe, and as always, share it. Once again, I was your host, Bob McCarty. Have another great training week. Next week, I'll have a recap of Dyer Park and an interview with the winners of Coconut Cup Round 1. Thanks for watching. Have a great training week.